What's up with it? You watching the Big Bomber TV? Yeah, we about to check out this video from the YouTube channel Culture Covered. And the title is Shannon Sharpe dares Steve Harvey after he pulls up on Katt Williams. Yeah, man, I thought this situation was dying down, but Steve Harvey had to respond, huh? Yeah, so I guess Shannon Sharpe going in on Steve Harvey now, you know what I mean? Defending Katt Williams, but I haven't checked out the video. Don't know what they talking about really, you know what I'm saying? But let's check it out and see what they talking about. Yeah.
Now I want y'all to have that same thing when y'all were talking. Don't get mad now.
But I still know how to turn my hip and shift that weight, and I'll knock your short ass out. I'll shoot your perm straight out your head.
Now, of course, Katt Williams himself has caught wind of Harvey's comments and took to Instagram in order to post a video and seemingly respond to what Harvey had to say.
So Steve Harvey is really out here threatening to knock out Katt Williams. And can you believe it's been almost a year since Katt went off on Steve during his epic appearance on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast? Initially, Steve tried to take the high road, saying he wasn't even going to dignify Katt with a response. But clearly, Katt's comments struck a nerve because Steve is still all riled up and throwing around threats. The fans are not having it, and neither is Shannon Sharpe, and he had to check Steve for trying to come for Katt. So what exactly is Steve Harvey's problem? Is he spiraling because he knows that deep down Katt was telling the truth on Club Shay Shay? And how did Shannon Sharpe really react to Steve's threats against Katt? Let's break it down.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought these dudes was like comedy people, you know what I'm saying? So like if you ready to take it to violence or something, you know what I mean? That mean you done got whooped there, you know?
Certain people, they're just polarizing. Yeah. They're gonna be people, certain level, they're gonna be a number of people that love them, and they're gonna generate a certain level of hate. Yeah.
So as you all know by now, back in January, Katt Williams took to Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast, and he went full beast mode on Steve Harvey. Katt didn't just throw shade, he unleashed a full-on storm, labeling Steve Harvey a total fraud and hinting that he's nothing more than a puppet for the industry higher-ups. But see, this wasn't just a one-time thing. Katt's been out here dropping subtle and not so subtle hints about Steve's shady dealings for years. While Steve's been out here smiling for the cameras, Katt's been busy telling everyone what's really going down behind the curtain. Remember years back when Katt did that freestyle dragging Steve, Diddy, and Jermaine Dupri?
Huh. What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah? Jermaine Dupri, king of the pep, if you ask me, baby.
Man.
And Steve Harvey, I heard about your book. I'm proud of your success, but look, better stop telling people that my lies before you be somewhere and meet one of my mother guys. You see, when I'm around, them is polite, gentlemen. Be alone, they be all hyped up on Ritalin. And if I ain't there to hold them back, them anxious to get it in.
Back then, everyone was...
I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. He said something about Jermaine Dupri because like nothing ain't came out about Jermaine Dupri yet, you know what I'm saying? He kinda under the radar. I don't know, man. Y'all think something about Jermaine Dupri might pop up soon or something? I have no idea.
Quick to label Katt crazy and accuse him of being on something. But clips like this one are the receipts that prove Katt's been trying to spill the tea on this shady industry for ages. Word on the street is that since that comedy face down, take down, Steve Harvey has not been seen on a stand-up comedy stage since. Now fast forward to January 2024, and during that Club Shay Shay interview, Katt went off. He was out there dropping all the receipts and dragging Steve's dirty laundry into the spotlight for everyone to see. He came for Steve hard, accusing him of faking his homeless sob story, ditching his first wife, and then swapping her out for Marjorie, which, according to Katt, is all part of the Illuminati deal.
These are a lot. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about?
Katt then spilled the tea on why Steve really bowed out of stand-up comedy. And turns out it's a far cry from the story Steve fed us during his interview on Shannon Sharpe's podcast. Steve claimed he had to step away from comedy because he was overwhelmed with 7 TV shows. But then Katt came in and served up a whole different narrative. According to him, the real reason behind Steve's stand-up exit had nothing to do with a busy schedule. And Katt hinted that there was some seriously shady stuff going on behind the scenes that Steve clearly didn't want to get into.
Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars.
I ain't gonna lie, I heard and seen that clip too, man. That boy Ether Steve Harvey, man, said, "What you wearing that suit for? It's your funeral." That boy went in on him for real.
What?
And then Katt turned up the heat even more by accusing Steve of being a joke stealer. He claimed that Steve has been out here stealing punchlines from other comedians from the get-go. And if that wasn't bad enough, Katt took it up a notch by alleging that Steve was so jealous of the late great Bernie Mac that he went out of his way to try and sabotage Bernie's career. Allegedly, Steve plotted to snatch jobs from Bernie, including his role in Ocean's 11, which Steve was desperate to get for himself.
Then you ask, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. You called Ocean 11 to get that part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
So after
I ain't gonna lie, with Steve Harvey's success though, I don't really think he needed to be a movie star, you know what I'm saying? Like he like a corny funny, you know what I'm saying? But like he is for like TV though, you know what I'm saying? And he do his thing on TV. The people love him, the old black people love him, the white folks love him, you know what I mean?
After Katt dropped all these bombshells on Club Shay Shay, Steve's camp first claimed that Steve wouldn't even bother responding to Katt's allegations because Steve is all about spreading positive vibes and staying above the drama. But let's be real, Katt must have really hit a nerve because here we are, nearly a year later, and Steve is still fuming and throwing threats Katt's way. So Steve's initial reaction was to take the high road, and instead of addressing Katt directly, he took to social media to share a video of himself delivering one of his trademark motivational speeches on Family Feud. You don't have to address your haters. But you know, Katt definitely hit a nerve with Steve because after that explosive interview, Steve couldn't help but bring up the drama on his own turf during a pre-recorded episode of the Steve Harvey radio show. And this time, Steve subtly hinted that Katt was a liar. But he still dodged addressing Katt's allegations head on. And he didn't deny any of the claims Katt made on Club Shay Shay. Steve said on his radio show, "Be careful when you hear something that's laid out to be the truth. And because the person that's telling you what they say is true is speaking eloquently, don't be deceived by that. There are some people who know how to lie so well, they know how to sprinkle in just enough truth and wrap it inside their lies, where they got you thinking someone is telling the truth." But Steve just couldn't let it go. And fast forward 6 months, he was still visibly riled up. At his golf classic event in June, he let loose with some serious shade, saying that Katt ain't ish, and even threatening to destroy him. But once again, Steve totally avoided directly addressing or denying any of the claims Katt made about him.
A young man without a role model is like an explorer without a map. How do you figure manhood out without talking to another man? And I want to say Katt Williams ain't
Man.
That's the shit I wanted to say. I can't say it on the radio, so I don't use my platform to bring nobody down. But when I'm live, though, I'll destroy you.
But y'all, here we are.
Man, he definitely struck a nerve if he just keep bringing them up everywhere, you know what I mean? But man, I don't know what to say about that situation.
Almost a year after that explosive sit down between Katt Williams and Shannon Sharpe. And Steve Harvey is back at it again, throwing shade at Katt and even threatening to knock him out. Social media is buzzing with speculation that Steve might have taken yet another swipe at Katt during his recent appearance at InvestFest in Atlanta. There's a video making rounds that shows Steve on stage talking about how he deals with his critics. Now, Steve being Steve, he couldn't resist tossing in a little playful jab about his fighting skills. He was bragging that if it ever came down to a physical showdown, he still got some serious moves and could totally take down his haters, including a certain someone who is short and has a perm.
Ass hater who is, and you'll never have a hater that's doing better than you. Always know that. Don't get off the wall to dress some pity boy who ain't got going for himself. Now you done stopped your climb up on the wall so you can come down here and talk to his little punk. Don't do that, man. I stay away from it. Now, do I want to? Yes. Because I'm a human being and I'm hood. Now, I used to be a fighter and I still got hands. They slow, but if you get up on me real close, I can still knock you. I just don't have the quickness I have, but I still know how to turn my hip and shift that weight, and I'll knock your out. I'll shoot your perm straight out your head.
But you already know Katt wasn't going to take Steve's threats seriously. Shortly after that,
I ain't gonna lie, I will say though, Steve is like on like big TV shows and stuff, got like a huge following, so he probably couldn't go like straight at Katt. So he probably doing what he could do and like throw shots slowly, you know what I'm saying? Because if he like went all out, he'll probably lose some of his TV shows and deals and sponsors and all that.
a clip of Steve threatening to knock him out went viral, Katt took to Instagram to throw some serious shade and posted a funny meme video with the caption, "Yeah, Steve."
Now, of course, Katt Williams himself has caught wind of Harvey's comments and took to Instagram in order to post a video and seemingly respond to what Harvey had to say.
God damn, I look good. Eating you. I'm talking about eating you. God damn, I look
What's up? That's
good.
Katt Williams.
Eating you. I'm talking about eating you.
The caption for the video read, "Yeah, Steve," followed by a few reaction emojis.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Katt isn't losing any sleep over Steve's tough talk about knocking him out. Meanwhile, fans out here calling Steve out, pointing out that he's doing everything except actually denying all those allegations Katt made against him on Club Shay Shay. One fan said, Steve won't address his wife and her Kingpin days or apologize for trying to steal Bernie's role, but talking about this 8 months later, shaking my head. And another person wrote, a 70-year-old man talking about hitting someone is so sad. This was the best comeback Steve could give after 9 whole months. Katt's been living rent-free in his head for a long time. But it's not just fans who are coming for Steve Harvey. Sources close to Shannon Sharpe are getting in on the action too. Apparently, Shannon's been having a field day clowning Steve for even thinking he could knock out anyone, especially Katt Williams. And if you remember a couple of months back, there were rumors floating around that Steve, Oprah, and Tyler Perry were allegedly plotting to sabotage Club Shay Shay. So now with Steve out here openly threatening Katt, it's just piling on the drama. But honestly, this whole situation is making Steve look even more guilty. And whatever his plan was, it's totally backfiring. The public is clearly rallying around Katt. And it's like Steve's trying to dig himself out of a hole he just keeps making deeper. But what's your take on Steve threatening to knock out Katt? How come Steve is doing all that talking and yet he's still refusing to address Katt's accusations head on? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. They then started the fire back up, you know what I mean? I think Katt Williams already did a number on him, so like Steve really still on defense. He like feelings hurt, you know what I'm saying? And he really didn't address the stuff that Katt Williams said he done done. And then they got evidence of him like being like go along and get along type dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like he talk about he'll do any kind of role. I'll be up in there, yeah, master, something like that, you know what I'm saying? So like he don't really got no integrity, really, you know, he'll do whatever they ask him to do. That's what I think, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, hopefully they can get this situation situated or something, you know what I'm saying? Maybe do a, I don't know, man. Steve Harvey kind of too old for a celebrity boxing match or something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, hopefully they can figure this out. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, share, subscribe to the Big Mama TV. Till next time, peace. Yeah.